Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is going to be the third video of our Supabase playlist where I will be explaining about the database and all, and how to set up a database and how to perform different operations using SQL editor and all without leaving the dashboard. So Supabase provides us all the features within dashboard itself. We don't need to connect directly to the database. So let's just get started. So I will move to the dashboard. Here, as we have created this project in our previous video, I will just go inside the project, then hover to the left section. On left section you can see a table editor. We will move to it. Now it shows all the tables that we have, and on the left side we have a schema. So schema is basically a namespace for different objects. Let's say we have different folders where we can organize our different tables. So schema is like an umbrella to them. So let's just create a new schema first. It's better to keep everything separate. So it also helps us like in the RLS side of things, where I will be explaining all this in the consequent videos. So let's just name it GTA, as we are going to create a light GTA as I told my previous videos. So let's move to the schema and then create a new table. So in GTA what we can create, like, okay, let's create a characters table where we'll be sharing, like where we'll be saving all the names of the characters. Then for now I will be disabling the RLS. It's giving me warning, but it's okay, we'll enable it later. So here you can see like you can add different columns and all. ID I will keep it as int only. Okay, let's do one thing, let's use UUID as the so basically auth is provided by Supabase, and there is a auth schema. Inside there is a users table which have user ID saved in it, and that is in UUID format. So let's keep everything in sync. I will show you in later like how is the user table, auth table is stored and all. So for now let's focus on the characters table, what our character can have. So a character can have a name that I think varchar would be sufficient for that, and on clicking on the gear icon you can see there are some options whether this field is nullable or not. So it's not nullable, but it's unique, so we just apply that and we add one more column. We say the age of the character, and we can save it in, I guess, int 4 would be sufficient. And then again it is not nullable, and let's create one more column. We name it gender city. I guess we can create it in int format, or we can also go for enums. So for simplicity I would just keep it as int is nullable to false. I will add a, okay, so we don't need a default value, so I will add one more column which is appearance. That would be a JSON column. So Postgres supports JSON very well, and by the way, I forgot to tell, like Supabase uses Postgres, which I have told in a previous video, but again repeating. So it uses Postgres, and Postgres is an open source battle tested SQL based database which is like considered very good for production level applications. So let's keep appearance as JSONB, then we can keep it null. Okay, and in appearance I'm thinking of keeping like the color, ethnicity, hair and all these things related to the character. So let's, if we go move down, we will see a foreign key. So what we can do is, currently we don't need any foreign keys, so let's just save the table. As soon as we save the table, you can see they are adding 6 columns to the characters. So basically Supabase creates a table for us, and we can see it in the dashboard. We are currently in the characters table. So I will create one more table for the sake of video, which is user profiles. Then I will show the auth table. So it stores user profiles, and then we can again disable the RLS. I would keep it on in subsequent videos. So each user can, okay, let's do this. Each user will have a character, and that is a, okay, I just misspelled it, character ID. Let's keep it in sync with UUID. So, and character ID would also be a UUID, as it is going to be a foreign key. Then it's not randomly generated, it's okay, it can be null. Let's keep it this way, and there is no default value. And so there will be a username, then there will be a auth user ID, which is again a foreign key to the auth schema users table. Then we can just have a, okay, all these are enough, and it is not nullable. Name cannot be null, and let's give the type, it is varchar, and then user ID will again be a UUID. So also we need these two foreign keys, right, auth and character ID. So let's add foreign key relation to them. So our schema is GTA, then characters table, then inside GTA we have like character ID, and inside character it is ID column, and cascade rules and all. So basically it is something like, let's say we have a character table, then we have link a user to the character, then we just delete that character. So what will happen in the users table? So for delete I would set it to null. So as soon as we delete the character, user table, in user table the character will be set as null, and on update I would just cascade it. So let's say we update the character ID in the main table characters, so that effect would also be reflected in the users table. So I will just save it, and let's add one more foreign key to the auth schema. Okay, so we have not turned on auth. No, we have the users table. Then it just took some time. Then it is auth user ID, and we can link it to the ID of the users table. Then again on update I will just cascade, and on delete I would restrict it. Like we won't be deleting the main users, right? So let's say someone tries to delete the user inside the auth table, that is remove his account. So what it will do is it will restrict the deletion, as our user profile table is completely dependent on this table, right? So we can either do cascade or restrict. So on cascading, what will happen is the user profile table will also be deleted. Like if you delete a user from the auth schema, then the user profile would get deleted. But let's keep it restrict for now and hit on save. So we have our two tables ready inside the GTA schema. Okay, so this was all about the table editor. Then we want to insert a column or a row. They provide this option. Then we can also import data via CSV. So now let's go to the SQL editor, which is a powerful feature of Supabase. So here we can execute all the queries that we can think of: creating function, creating triggers, creating event triggers, updating, selecting, inserting, everything which you want. So let's do this. Let's try to select everything from user profiles. So again, user profiles table is inside the schema, so GT schema. So we need to mention that, and then on hitting enter, so we get no rows returned, as there is no data inside that. So let's insert data into characters. That is again in GT schema, gt.characters. We can also set the schema above, but it's better to mention it separately. Then okay, so what our characters have? They have name, then they have their age, gender, and they also have appearance. So let's do this. For the name, I have few names, like, okay, let's try to insert only one for the sake of the video. I would insert it in the backend later, and then let's keep the age as 32. Let's keep the gender as 1 for male, 2 for female, 3 for, and so on. So, and then let's keep the appearance currently as, okay, let's add a JSON of hair color and ethnicity. I don't know its spelling. Ethnicity, I would correct it if I was wrong. Let's create it Asian, then hair color is blonde, and let's try to insert it. Let's see if we get any error. So yeah, so as you see, the error reporting is also quite well, like we know where the error is. Like we have an error at this place. So what we forget is we forget to encapsulate this inside a string code. So okay, so it is considering it as a column, because in Postgres, if we specify double quotes, it will assume it is a column. So we need to give it a single quote. Okay, so our data has been inserted. To check it, we will just select star from gt.characters, and let's just see if we have anything. Yeah, so we have all this. And for the simplicity, let's also try to go to the table and see the characters table. So we have the data. If you want to edit, we can just edit it, like let's say it's 28, then you want to change the name or anything that you want to do. So I forgot to show the auth table. So this is the auth table that we have, like the users table which we have. It is inside the auth schema, then it is inside the users table. Then these are the columns that Supabase provides us: instance ID and role, email, password, and all. For it keeps all this for like for supporting all the different features of sending email, verifying the user. And let's just go to the database section once. But we have tables, functions, triggers, all in the UI. We don't need to go anywhere. We can create a trigger, we can create a function, we can create an enum type. We have different extensions. Let's say tomorrow we need to integrate a location type, something like we would need it, right? In the GTA we have different locations of the places. So for that we can use extension name as PostGIS, which is like again great extension for having all the geometries and all. So we would come this later. Then we have indexes. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's add index on our, let's add a new index. Let's add an index on our GTA, add an index on name of characters, as we will be filtering it, I guess. I'm not sure, but yeah, so we just create an index. It is as simple as this. Then we have creating roles, users, and all. We have all these roles given by Supabase. Then we have policy section. We can add an RLS policies, provider, rate limiter, email templates, and all. So these all come in the authentication section. Then we have backups, wrappers. Then we have all the database migration, all the history and all. And we have our webhooks. That is again a great thing to have used there. Then we have our schema visualizer, which is again a must-have thing. So we can visualize our schema here any day. Then all these are provided by Supabase out of the box. We can view all the queries, all the slow queries, all the frequent queries. Then there is security advisor. So I guess that is enough for the video. So let's end it. If you like what you see, or like creating a GTA application, just subscribe or press the bell icon so that you know when the next video is out. And you can, if you want to create alongside with me, you can just hit in the comment. We can just collaborate together.